Welcome. In today's video, we'll see how to read existing IFC files with IfcHopperShell plugin. If you don't know what that is, I made a video on it. You can find it up here or down in the description. All right, so let's go in the documentation. So this is the page we're interested in today, reading existing models, and we'll go through all the topics. Now, I won't read the documentation, but you can go back and check it out later on. I'll just go directly to Rhino Grasshopper. So I already have it here. I already installed the plugin. If you don't know how to do that, the video I mentioned before goes through that as well. And the components we're interested in today are this IFC read, then this get mesh, which converts the model, the red model, to an actual visualizable mesh in Rhino, and then these three utilities to read information about the file. So let's start with this first one. So IFC read. Let me also open sunglasses here so you can see the name of the component up here. All right, and then we need a file path. We write it in the we'll write it in this panel. If you don't have an IFC file to test, there's a sample model here, which is provided by I don't remember, like this guy on YouTube, sorry, on GitHub. And so you can go to design model IFC, and then there's this IFC weird name in German, I'm not trying to pronounce, .ifc. You can click it, and then there's this download button, the download road file, and it will give you the IFC file, which is this one. And then we can you can open it up with your usual viewer or with as a text file, or like today we'll do with the IfcHopperShell plugin. So in this case, I have my file in the downloads folder. So let's target that. So let's go to Rhino. We'll say the downloads folder / and then we need the name of the file, which is quite complex. So let's copy it so we not spell it wrong. Okay, so this is the full path. Let's check it's correct. Yes, it is. And then we can just drop it in the file path like here, and then wait a couple of seconds for it to read. It's reasonably fast at reading the model. That depends on how fast your PC is and how heavy is the model. In this case, it's 47 megabytes, I believe. Yeah, so it's not too light. It's not huge. Okay. So once we have the model, you can see it's converted to an IfcOpenShell file object, and you can also inspect the version. In this case, is IFC 2-3 schema. Okay. So how to visualize it with like the actual geometries contained in the model? You can use this get mesh. This will take the model and it will convert it to a Rhino mesh. And this takes a while, so I'll stop the video while it processes, and this changes depending on, again, the file size and how fast is your computer. My PC is very, very slow because it's quite old, so it's taking a while. I'll get back in a couple of seconds. All right, here we are. So you may have noticed, depending on how fast is your machine, it's not instantaneous, so it takes probably 10 to 20 seconds for a model like this, maybe 10. And for heavier models, it may take even minutes. And this is because the library, the IfcOpenShell library we are using is in Python, which is not the most efficient way to deal with heavy data. But this is what we have at the moment, so I mean, it still works. So it's not too slow. So then we have meshes and colors, and we can actually preview it, like you already see here with the classic red preview. But let's use the colors that are in the model to actually see it better. So we can see. We can take the mesh and drop it in geometry, and now we can drop the colors into the material, and then you will see that it's actually using the right materials. If you zoom in carefully, you will see that some objects actually haven't been colored properly. The reason is that for some reason in this model, some colors are written weird. Let's go check it out. If you inspect the colors, you will see some of them. Let's see, there it is. There was one there. Some of them have this parenthesis 0, which a Rhino does not interpret as a right color. So let's just fix that quickly. So we'll do replace text, and then we'll drop the colors in the text. We will find that parenthesis 0, so we'll do space, then parentheses 0, and then close parentheses. So there's a space at the start. Keep in mind. Okay, and then we'll do another panel, which is just an empty panel. So we'll replace it with an empty panel, and we will find this 0. And then if you take this won't have that 0 anymore, and you drop it in, everything will be colored correctly. In fact, you saw that this became white, and before it was just without the color, so a null color. Okay, so this is how you preview the file, and then you can inspect it here, and it's just any 3D model. You can bake it and use it as always. So this is about like the geometry. What about the properties? So let's inspect some properties of the model. So let's move maybe these out of the way because we don't need it anymore. And let's deal with properties. So to do that, we have at the moment these three ways of doing it. We will start with maybe this one. So let's say we want to search the IFC project, which we know there's only one in the file. So IFC project. This is the name of the class. Let's also open it up with the text file so that we can compare it. I'll use Visual Studio Code to open it. Yeah, okay. And in this case, I'm looking for project. There it is. It's ID step ID 57, and it has some properties here. So let's look it up. So we can go here, IFC project. This is the type. And then we can take the model. You don't have to take, like, not from here the get mesh, but the actual just the dot file object of IfcHopperShell. You drop it in, and this is, I mean, reasonably fast. It takes just a couple of seconds because my PC is quite slow. In yours, it probably will be instantaneous, and it will give you the step ID, hopefully 56. Let's check, and indeed we have 56. So this is correct. And now we want to ask some information, also the keys and the values, the properties of this class. So we will do the model here, and then this with the IFC get info component, we can take this step ID, drop it in here, and hopefully we get the keys and the values. Again, this takes a couple of seconds. It's reasonably quick. The plugin is not like the best to read files. It's mostly good to author new files, which is what we'll see in a new episode. But it's still, you can use it to read stuff as well. There you can you see these are the keys, and then we have the values. So the values are here. You can drop it in. Here they are, and you'll notice it's a tree. The reason it's a tree is that one of these properties, specifically property number 9 with the index number 9, so the 10th property, it's a list in the file. So if you go and check that here, IFC project, you'll see the 10th property here is 5797. It's a list. So the way the library deals with it is that it gives you a second list, and it tells you, at position 9 here, I told you it's null, but actually it was a list because I couldn't display it in a single line. So I put it here. And then the others, instead, you can see it directly. So for example, the name, number 4, it's apartment, weird German name. Okay. The last way you can inspect the objects, the model, is using GUID. So what is a GUID? Is a unique identifier. In this case, the project is this one over here. So let's look it up. Of course, you can use other examples. You don't have to use project. I'm using this just because I know it's only one, and it's, I mean, everyone knows about the project. And then you drop in the GUID. It will do the same thing as the one that used the step ID, but it will look for the GUID instead of the step ID, and you will get the same result as you get up here. In fact, let's drop the keys in. Nothing changes, and let's drop the values in. Nothing changes. So yeah, that was pretty much it. So this was reading the files with IfcHopperShell. I hope you find this useful. Leave a like if you did. Contribute to the project on the GitHub page. I'll leave the link in the description. You can also join the discussion. Actually, let me switch back to the desktop for just a second. If you go on the GitHub page, you write GitHub right here. There's this like the main page of the organization, so IfcHopperShell. If you hit discussions, this is the forum. So at the moment, you have a welcome message and then features for version 0.2. So things you'd like to see improved or added to the plugin. So if you're interested, just go there and write to us what you'd like to see implemented. All right. So this is now it. See you next time. Bye.